Good afternoon, everyone, and a very, very warm welcome to today's Pinwheel session. Hello, I'm Piyasha, and I lead the operations at RARE. I have the pleasure of introducing today a very truly soulful addition to the RARE family, and this is the captivating TigerLily, which is in Dudhwa. You all know about Pinwheel, so I wouldn't really elaborately talk about it, but very, very briefly. So, Pinwheel is RARE's tribute to the art of the journey, a forum centered on the pillars of sustainability, slow, intentional travel. It creates a vital space for our community to actually come together, converge, fostering a very good engagement with all the places that really matter to us, and of course, the hotels that we have. And a little bit about Tiger Lily before Jayant starts the session today. In an era of predictable, you can say cookie cutter travel, so Tiger Lily Dudhwa stands as a rare, unfiltered breath of the wild, a sanctuary where the legacy of the legendary Billy Arjun Singh is felt in every rustle of the Terai. We have welcomed them into the Rare India fold, not merely for their exquisite hospitality, but for their commitment to very unhurried kind of forest life that honors the delicate rhythm of the tiger, the marshland. It's an invitation to step back into a world where conservation is not a concept only, but a lived, a breathing heritage. Of course, all our properties, or even for the wildlife ones, are basically on the same concept. So this too is similar in the fold. I would now like to invite all of you all to directly hear from Jayant, who will take us deeper into Tiger Lily, talk about the setting, its location, accessibility, of course, the rooms, the experiences they do, and what makes it a very compelling addition to the Rare portfolio. Also, a request to all of you to keep your microphones muted while the session is on, and as per the regular practice, so we'll have a question answer session at the end of this, and then Jayant, of course, can answer to all of that. Is Shobha there in the Ginny? She there? Then if she would like to talk something.
Yes, ma'am is here, but muted.
Shobha, would you like to say something?
Yeah, I'm here, Piyasha.
Okay, would you like to
Unfortunately,
say something?
traveling. I'm actually in the Dandakaranya temple, in
Okay.
the Dandakaranya forest. So the connectivity is very low. You said it all and very beautifully. Thank you. Actually, the only thing I'd like to add is with Dudhwa coming into the fold, an itinerary or a region that we've been looking at closely since 2012 while promoting Lucknow through a festival called Wajid Ali Shah, creates a fabulous itinerary for us, which takes you from Dudhwa to Lucknow via Kannauj to a lovely property that we will see on Pinwheel very soon called Fort Rampura. On to Chambal Safari Lodge just joined us very, very recently. Also can go into, towards Gwalior and Saraya Toria or via Chambal into Ramatra, towards Ramatra and Savai Madhopur. So creating these itineraries, which is one of the things that we are trying to do under RARE. Instead of having standalone places, we want to create composite itineraries that are easy to sell and that are easy to promote, and that also shows a new facet of India and the subcontinent. Thank you, Piyasha. Over to you, Jen.
Jayant, yes, please.
Thank you for the introduction, and thank you for having me here. Very honest, I shouldn't be saying this, but when we started this, our first thing was how does Rare come and see us? So I think that was when we started. And I speak for Akash. Akash is my partner, who I started this with, and who is my partner in the wild. And we started this. We were looking for land like any. We were in college. We were immature, and we wanted a place in the forest because we were wildlife photographers, right? So both of us were looking for land all across India. And when we reached and saw this place, we were like mesmerized, and we were like, okay, you know what, this is where we have to start. And this was mainly for us. We said we'll just camp here, yeah, and we'll figure out. And so this place has grown organically. Camp TigerLily, it has its own previous name, which is there on Google Maps. Yet we're not really proud of that name, but you can look it up. With a 5-acre property, when we reached here, we realized that there was no really good place to stay across the region. And we complete 3 years. We completed 3 years actually 2 days back. And we have 3 jungles here, as you know, Dudhwa, Kishanpur, and Katarnia Ghat. But as Akash and I started building gradually from 2017, we finally went live 3 years back in 2023. A soft launch with friends. We got motivated. We of course started all the grand plans of having 15 rooms and a double-story building to house everything that we wanted. And then we gradually started doing it organically. We realized that this is too much. I mean, and in this world of too much, we realized that we wanted very little. So we gradually built this house organically, evolved from 15 rooms to 6 rooms, where we have comfort. We have 2 blocks. The idea was that we can stay here, people come and like it, spend time. And having traveled quite a lot ourselves, we knew what it looked like. We'd never been on the side of hospitality and done that, but we knew what we wanted when we went to places, right? And with that, we carved out and worked with an architect, and worked on. Of course, since we had known about Rare, we knew how we wanted to build it. We were like already inspired, and we knew that it had to be sustainable, right? So we wanted to use local material possible to whatever extent we could. So we have main block where we have guests coming in, and we have 2 blocks of 3 rooms each where people have the forest facing. And of course, the trees you see above is actually the core Kishanpur forest. Yeah. So I'll just dive into completely about the 3 forests and the history. Of course, the history, of course, it has a very interesting history, and of course, like you said, Abhiyasha, I mean, it's mainly Billy Arjun Singh, cover Billy Arjun Singh, who from his aristocratic background, right? I mean, I think he was able to find the path in 1959 when he was a hunter earlier, of course, right? A prince from Kapurthala, where he saw a leopard, he shot a leopard, and then he saw the light fade away from the leopard's eye, and that's how he completely changed and said, you know what, he started working towards whole area of conservation. And it's all his efforts that finally moved Dudhwa from being called a wildlife sanctuary to a national park and then a tiger reserve completely. And he lobbied, he worked really hard, and he built Tiger Haven, which is where his main command center was in Dudhwa, where he did all his excursions, all his documentary, his writing. He used to type all his narratives, and that's how he pushed with the bureaucracy and of course Mrs. Indira Gandhi, right, to have this place be conferred as a tiger reserve, which led to a lot of initiatives. And this is where we are, because of which, honestly, it's not. It 5 years back it wasn't really known much, but now what we have is a forest that we really feel that should evolve in a way where yeah, where it evolves into how do we grow tourism here? How do we, because tourism is important from a perspective of conservation and also from a point of view of protection, right? But how do we make it grow organically where it doesn't really completely pollute the setup, right? And that's the stage we are in. It really is still pristine. Our property still has now from 200, it's now 300 trees in house, gradually growing. Really, my height right now, but as it transforms into a forest in itself, we really see how we have to play a role in ensuring that we have tourism, a very guided way of growing tourism gradually, and that's where each guest who comes to our setup, right, plays a key role. And
Then I would once interrupt. Yeah. So I could see someone writing. If you can go a little slower. Yeah.
I'm
Slightly.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm an engineer. My mind just runs faster. Fair. That's absolutely fair. I mean, thank you. So yeah, I mean, mainly 3 forests being there from a 212 square kilometer, like almost 75 years back. It's now grown to a good corridor, a complete corridor, which completes the 3 forests complete the corridor, which is important. Why is the corridor important? Because finally we need the animals to be able to freely move around for the genetic pool to stay pure, right? And in that sense, the Dudhwa Tiger Reserve in 1987 to the whole Kishanpur Forest Wildlife Sanctuary and Katarnia Ghat Sanctuary in 2013 resulted in a whole corridor which is like good 2200 kilometers square, right? Which enables the movement of animals in the Terai. Now the Terai forest, of course, is very different. It's wet, deciduous sal trees, and it's got wetlands and grasslands around, which makes the forest really different from the forest in the central India and south. One big aspect which played a key role in also as an example across from point of view of reintroduction of animals is the rhino, where in 1984 to 87, 5 rhinos were brought in Dudhwa, and then from there we've now come to almost 50 rhinos in the area where we have 2 zones in Dudhwa dedicated, and now last year we also took the rhinos out into the free wild in Dudhwa forest. That's how the forest has evolved, and I think again, nothing can be mentioned about the forest without mentioning Billy Arjun Singh's contribution, and of course, the government, of course, honored him with multiple awards, right? Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan, being 2 of them, right? The forest, of course, is adjoining to Nepal. I mean, that's where the whole movement of animals happens. And Dudhwa, Katania Ghat, and Kishanpur, they have places adjoining to Nepal. But of course, Katania Ghat is the closest and to Bardia National Park in Nepal. Yeah, the sizes. I mean, Dudhwa National Park is the largest of them. The core region being 490 square kilometers, and the whole forest being around 820 square kilometers. Kishanpur's smaller, around 220 square kilometers, but it plays a key role, and it's actually divided away from Dudhwa by the Sharda River, which again has white sands around it, and is a great place for actually taking a guess for birding walks along the way. Katania Ghat is around 2 hours from our property, but it is one of the places where you have the boat safari, which happens along the way, and the gharials, around 200 plus numbers growing there, which was again close to extinction, and then somehow we were able to maintain and grow their population. So those are the 3 forests critical for us, and of course the neighboring forests being Pili and the forests in Nepal being the Shukla Fanta National Park. I've already spoken a lot about Billy Arjun Singh, and I think so I will move ahead. But given the fact he built Tiger Haven, which is still there, and it's a place where people do want to visit, but again, it's stuck in litigation of what happens to it. But his legacy still remains there, with all his manuscripts still being present in Tiger Haven. Of course, a coincidence that Billy Arjun Singh was born on 15th August, and I share his birth. So I think I can be proud of that to some extent. Yeah. Now, what we really tried to the farmers next to us, and whatever remains, of course, we get from Bhira, which is the district there, the village there from where we buy from. So again, the idea is to, of course, ensure that it's simple yet luxury.
Jayant,
Yeah,
sorry, we lost
yeah,
you for a bit in the
yeah, Shobna.
yeah, we lost you for a bit earlier. In So can you between. Just repeat yourself?
I'm losing you. now.
Yeah, Jayant, you're audible now. Could you repeat what you just said?
I will repeat what I just said 10 seconds back. What I was saying was that we believe in sustainability, so we grow our own vegetables, and whatever we can't grow ourselves, we try and procure them from the farmers, because the camp is surrounded by farms on one side and the forest on the other side. And the remaining, of course, we procure from the village next to us. So we try and ensure that we can grow as much as we can. Our fruits, we have around 300 fruit bearing trees, and we have our own garden where we grow our vegetables and our own rice and wheat as well. So the idea is to practice sustainability to whatever extent, and not from a perspective of calling it sustainable, but because we feel that we really want to have what we believe, to know how it was grown and how,
Sorry to
whatever it
interrupt,
has,
Jayant
right?
sir.
So in
The
that sense, we try
presentation
to
is
ensure
not
that
visible.
it's like our own home, and that results in us being able to keep it simple and sustainable.
Priyasha ji, it's not
Now,
happening. We are unable to hear anything.
Jayant? Yeah,
is it?
Jayant, can you hear us?
Yeah,
Jayant,
I can hear you. Yes,
your presentation is not visible.
I'm. It's. Let me try again. Is it? I can see it here. Can you see it now?
No, we can't see.
No, we cannot.
It says I'm sharing. It shows me here. Let me stop again. Can you see it now?
No, still not.
No.
Because I can see it here. Let me stop again and start again.
Maybe, Jayant sir, you can just exit and rejoin. That would help.
I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that.
Jayant is just joining back, so if you can just wait for a while, he just wrote to me. Oh, Jayant, you're there. So, Jayant, do you think, 1 second. Jayant, do you think Kshitij can share the presentation and you speak? Is there a network problem at your end? So he can do that.
I'll share it with him. I don't see a network problem here. I don't know why it's disconnecting, but let me
So,
just.
so Kshitij also has the presentation. Maybe he can share.
I'll just share the updated one. Yeah.
Just okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's shared with him. He can share it. It's the same one.
Kshitij, will you share?
Give me a second.
Yeah, yeah. So just align with the topic that he is on.
Yeah. I think slide 9 should be fine. Oh, slide 11. Shows 100 Mbps. I don't know why it's okay.
I was just worried that you should not be in TigerLily, but then it's
I have 100 Mbps. I'm in Delhi.
yeah. So anyway, no worries.
Technology has to fail when it fails. I mean.
Yeah. That can happen any moment.
But that's also true at the camp. I mean, we have network, we have Geo, we have Airtel, but of course,
Yeah.
there are days where the network's really bad.
But it's also okay to not have no network on a holiday. Na?
That's why we are not trying very hard to solve that network problem, because there isn't any solution, but we're waiting for Starlink to come maybe, but I think we're not trying to solve that. This is it. Yeah.
Should I go full screen or would this works?
This works. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I mean, we grow everything ourselves, and we procure from the farmers around us, and of course from Bira, the village right next to us, which is like 3 kilometers from us. We have a local chef and we try and stick to what's very close to home, what's built, or what's made in our kitchen. And of course, since we are small, we 6 rooms, we try and delight our guests with what they would like, but we try and keep it to local cuisine as much as possible. But we can move on to the next slide. But we have 300 trees which are fairly small, and I think the first 3-4 years, that's why the property is very different. It's very raw, pristine. As it grows and becomes a part of the jungle, the look, of course, will change quite a lot from that extent. But right now, you can see the jungle right across when you sit in the veranda in your rooms. So like I said, it's the whole Terai arc has grown to be almost 50,000 square kilometers now, as it's gone about with Jim Corbett one side, right? A lot of our guests, come from that side, and usually with 3 forests, and Pilibhit being the fourth one there, I think we don't really try and talk about Nepal, because then that's a much larger itinerary, and I think India itself has so much to offer that these 3 forests, I think around 60% of our guests do not have enough time to do Katarnia Ghat, right? I mean, and what's also come about is, which I'll talk about in the activities that we have, we've also got the government, they've started the whole Vista Dome train, which goes across through the forest, crossing areas of the forest which you couldn't really visit even in safaris. So that's one experience that is fairly new here. And some of the guests from Lucknow try and do that, but it's only on the weekend, of course. But that's again a different experience which the region offers. Yeah, we can go to the next, Kshitija. Yeah, I mean, we do have the tiger in our name, but I think what we try and walk our guests through is the whole fact of pristine raw wildlife experience. We have the sambar, the barasinga in the region, and we've got sloth bears, and of course the cats are there, and you got the Asian elephant, which is part of Dudhwa forest, not Kishanpur. And we also, of course, have the rhino, where being reintroduced back, and one of the best shown examples of successful reintroduction of animals. And I mean, let's see how the cheetah parade goes, but it clearly shows that if there's patience, that we can reintroduce animals who first lived earlier. and the rhino population has grown quite healthily in the Dudhwa forest. Now, Dudhwa forest, of course, is so big that it technically takes 3 to 4 days or three to four safaris to actually cover the whole forest. It's not as big, but okay. Shidhar, you can go full screen. I mean, you can go full screen. Yeah, we can go to the next slide. That was about the animals. We got enough animals and birds around, and in the property, of course, since one side is the core forest, we of course have the tiger and the leopard crossing, and we do have a neighboring tiger called Lily. We've named her Lily, of course, who regularly visits us along the border. We again have mainly four kinds of guests who visit us. I mean, people who want luxury with simplicity, and of course, the international travelers, an important guest who arrives, and we've tailored our palette as well as the experience that we provide to them. And of course, being accessible from Lucknow is a 4-hour drive. Bareilly from Bombay flight is 2.5 hours to 3 hours drive again, the other side. And from Delhi, it's a 7-hour drive. And I think with the new expressway coming, it might just become like Corbett, which is 6 hours away. Corbett was 10 hours away like 10 years back. So we're hoping that the road connectivity will only improve. And the roads, it's an expressway till the end. Last 20 kilometers, you have the Melani forest where you have to cross through. It's a narrow road, but it's good road. So it's a good drive from Delhi. And Lucknow also, all the road works complete. So for international traveler, it's mainly the flight to Lucknow or Delhi and then driving down from there, or if they're coming from Corbett. Yeah, we can go to the next. So we've got these two, and of course we've got the wildlife enthusiasts. We've got majority of, I think, or more than 80% of our guests are ones who either are photographers or who really love the wild. And the age diaspora is, of course, right from 30 years to 65. Yeah, we're not completely accessible, but now we're working on that as an aspect to ensure that all parts of our property, yeah. And of course, the quiet, right? The quiet part is an important aspect, and which I think is what kind of differentiates us from that sense also, that there is no hullabulla around, since one side is the forest. The best time to visit, I mean, of course, like any in north, we have a lot of rains. The monsoon, right from July till October, the forest is full of water. One can't really go inside it. So the best time to visit usually is November and December. That's when the beauty of the forest is easily visible with the haze. Yet not cold enough, and still a lot of good visibility. And then, of course, you've got March and April where it starts getting hot. The water, you can predict the water movement for the animals, and you can actually see really good moments in the jungle. July, October, of course, the jungle is closed, so we do not usually get in guests. So the camp stays open, but yeah, I'll get to the questions later. Yeah. And of course, we've got 2 safaris in a day, which means that there's not a lot of breathing space for the guests. But of course, for people who know the slow way of living, they're able to find things to relax, sit in the gazebo. We also have a birdhouse. And now, of course, we're working on getting a machan in place around the forest. But we also take our guests for birding. The Sharda River is around 15 minutes away from us. The sandy beaches there serve as a great place for picnics and also for birding. And of course, we don't go too early because usually the tigers walk along the sandy beaches early morning. We also do village visits. We have 2 villages around us. One is, of course, the Kataya, and we have 2 gates to the Kishanpur forest. And we do the walk there. And of course, the Tharu community near Dudhwa is another place where we do cultural visits. Yeah, we do excursions. The forest is closed on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Tuesdays, Kishanpur forest is closed, and Wednesdays, Dudhwa is closed. So earlier it was the same day, which meant that Tuesday usually the guests couldn't do much. But now the forest departments, we have aligned, and we have one forest closed on one day, so we have other forests open along the way. And Pilipit is 2 hours away from our camp. So guests also do Pilipit if they want to. Yeah, we can go to the next. Yeah, this is the Vista Dome train which has started recently, and yeah, I mean that's a rough schedule. What we usually do, guests who want to do this is they can catch the train, and then we have a vehicle at the Bichia station, which is the Katarnia Ghat, and then they do the boat safari in the afternoon, 11:30, and then the afternoon safari, and then we drive them back in the evening. So Katarnia Ghat is a whole day excursion along the way. And the ticket for the Vista Dome can be bought online, and we can also help get those tickets in place. Yeah, we can go to the next slide. Yeah. So that's the view. Of course, the forest, the trees are slightly bigger now, but still the same view. The one side's the forest, and those are the two blocks and the gazebo and the main block in between. And like I said, we have solar across. Majority of us of our electrification happens with the solar, but for the air conditioning, we do have the backup silent generators, green generators in place. Yeah, and we grow on, like I said, our staff does all our agriculture, horticulture as well. So yeah, I think that's mainly it. I can take the direct questions. We have, of course, why from a perspective of why Dudhwa and why not corporate. Even my family, when they travel, should we go to Ranthambore, which is 4 hours away from Delhi, from Gurgaon, or Corbett? I think the whole aspect is that it's still very pristine. It's at a stage where you really enjoy the forest. You can get your own exclusive view of the tiger because there aren't so many jeeps around. Of course, there can be a lineup of 10 jeeps, maybe at max 15, but that's where we are right now, and that's what differentiates us. And of course, the team, like I said, Akash and I are ardent wildlifers, and we've been doing that. But we have in-house, the man of the house is Jay Pratap Singh, who's our naturalist, chief naturalist, and manager. And he has 25 plus years of research experience, and he has been working in the whole tiger conservation project in Ramnagar and near Corbett. And we were lucky enough that he came, and he's now part of our team. And I think the amount of stories and narratives that he can tell, guests usually at times also skip or would want to skip safaris and just listen to his stories and what we have to offer there. So yeah, I think that's mainly about us and why I think this last 3-4 years and in the next 3-4 years, of course, would be the time when Dudhwa definitely is a better location to visit. But of course, you have to be a wildlife lover for that. So yeah, I mean, but here are some of the points that we feel are generally differentiate Dudhwa from other forests. Yeah, I think I'm mainly done with I think I can take direct questions. And I think if you plan you can go one.
Presentation?
Yeah, we're done with the presentation. I'm done with the presentation.
Okay, so then we can take the questions. Yeah, so couple of them. The safety measures, if you would like to speak about, what are the safety measures in respect to wild?
I think so. We have a very we have barbed wire fence around the property. 70% of the, like I said, the open area is near the forest, and we have in-house dogs. Of course, we do not have electrification in the fence. We do not want to do that. We have staff which is always there, and we of course give directives, and we also brief on a half-day basis to our guests whenever they come back from safari, and we do not let children alone. So our staff ensures that they are there, and I mean those are the precautions that we take. And we of course after 8, when it gets dark, we don't have anyone moving towards the forest. But can animals jump in? On a couple of occasions in the last 2 years that has happened, but at the edges of the forest, we've had 2 tuskers walk in, break the fence, get back out. But far away, even the guests or us, we didn't know. It was at 9 at night, and yeah. So I think the distance, our staff, the dogs, and the cameras ensure that we are aware of what's happening. But since there is activity, and now of course, last I think 4 months back, we had Also, the forest department lay out a huge fence along the whole forest, which ensures that the villagers can't go to the forest, and from the forest you can't have deers and the herbivores coming in, which kind of keeps the tigers and the leopards away. There are no elephants near the property. This was a rare occasion where elephants from Nepal came in, they were crossing. But I think it's just awareness as well as vigilance that keeps the safety in check. Yeah, I mean, we do not carry firearms or anything to scare away the animals. It's precaution and ensuring that we know what's happening around the property. But it's safe. Then we've never had any kind of even a scare in the property.
Okay, so the next question is Mumbai. So, what is a good connection from Mumbai? So we have somebody writing, Neeraj. Neeraj is writing that Mumbai has a direct Bareilly flight, and
Yes.
that's convenient for Kishanpur and Dudhwa as compared to Lucknow. So, what do you suggest?
That's absolutely right. So our Bombay guests take the flight from to Bareilly, and Bareilly, if it's a good time, 2.5 hours, even a lot of traffic, city traffic, it takes 3 hours to get to the camp from the airport. So it's a 3-hour drive from. So Bareilly is the better option. Of course, you don't have flights, regular flights in a day. You have 1 or 2 flights only. But our majority of our Bombay guests, they prefer the flight to Bareilly.
Okay. Okay. So, Jayant, my video turned off because I was fearing network problem and all that. All right. So that's the reason.
No
Okay.
worries.
So, what about travel in June? If heat is not an issue, how is the sighting?
The sighting is very good. The sighting is very good. Heat is not an issue. Of course, when you're in the jungle, it can be an issue. Sunscreen helps, but we have cooling point areas. But I think the sighting is good. But like I said, I mean, technically the formula for any jungle is that you've got to do 4 safaris. And if it's Kishanpur, you have to do 2 or 3 safaris at a stretch, and you get to see. But it is not. It is good. And usually, what happens is because of the schedule of schools, we have last minute bookings more. People don't plan for June, right? I mean, it's a light month. And the second aspect of the forest right now is, since it's so new, is the fact that we do not know when the forest will close in June. It depends on the monsoon, right? So the forest department usually, we always say 15 June is when we close. But the forest department last minute also extends by 2 weeks. Doesn't really help us, but yeah, we always say it's open till 15 June, and the sightings are good at that time. And when I'm there, I don't need the AC. You can sit if it's shady, if it's shade and the trees or the buildings, you can sit outside. You don't need air conditioning, so it's pleasant. It's not really that hot in the camp.
No, in the month of June.
In the month of June, yeah, you can sit out in the veranda, and you don't feel the heat. It's breezy because the forest. Yeah.
Okay. Are the safaris scheduled? How many jeeps? So
Yes.
just talk about, yeah.
The safaris are scheduled. We've got 2 in-house jeeps, and of course we have tied up with the partners who have the best jeeps and best conditions in the area. So yeah, 2 in-house jeeps. They are scheduled. Summer schedule is different, and then the winter. But summer is 5:30 to 9:30, and then afternoon, 3:30, 2:30 to 5:30. 3:30 to 5:30, 6:30, and winters is just 6:30 to 10:30, and then of course evening is again 3:30 is 2:30 to 5:30. The evening safaris are 3 hours, and the morning safaris are 4 hours, and they are scheduled, but they're not online, which means that we have leeway to book the safaris ourselves. Yeah.
Okay. Would you like to talk about the cuisine, the food that you do?
It's local. It's local cuisine. We of course do continental depending on the guests who come in. So we do mix of everything. We do not do a buffet. We make it based on what we plan, and of course we take in guest inputs and
Right.
and preferences.
So not just local cuisine, you mean, right? So it can.
Yeah, it can be anything. We make Chinese at times. We make continental European, right? But but majority 70% of the time I think we usually end up making the Indian version of less spicy food.
Okay. All right. Next, yeah, I think you just spoke, but if you want to like a little elaborate on this, if Amrik is asking if it's a 3-night stay, then how would you plan the safaris?
Yeah. Plans of across different zones to showcase the best. Yeah. So what we do is that now again we've got the rhino zone, right? It depends on if there are guests who are very keen that they want to see the rhino. Then we plan the Dudhwa trip because Dudhwa has rhinos, Kishanpur and Katarnia don't have. So what we do is we technically plan a day of Dudhwa, which is the afternoon being the rhino zone. Now, of course, we've changed that a little bit because what happens is that now we see rhinos outside as well of the rhino zone. We've got 6 rhinos outside. And I think Shobna was lucky to see just on our entrance.
Yes, just right at the entrance. It was amazing.
Yeah, so we didn't need to take her inside the rhino zone. Depending on that, and of course, so it's usually one day would be Dudhwa, morning and evening, and we would want to do Kishanpur 2 or 3 days, through 2 or 3 safaris at a stretch, because that really ensures that they see most of the things right along the way. But we split it. Dudhwa requires at least 4 safaris, and Kishanpur with 2 safaris, but usually it ends up being 3-3. Because people end up deciding to relinquish on a Dudhwa plan, and then they do a close by Kishanpur because just 10 minutes drive, right? So we end up doing maybe 3 or 4 Kishanpur and 2 Dudhwa. That's usually the split. Yeah, one day could be an excursion. And people who want to do Katarnia, yeah, for the 4-day, the 3-night, of course, it would be that, right? I mean, technically it would be 6 safaris. So, yeah.
In-house activities in the resort?
In-house activities, we have books, we have the gazebo, we have the birdhouse for birding, right? I mean, we've got a pool table if you want to play pool, but otherwise the activity would be a walk around, butterfly walk for children, maybe a close by walk around if you want to do birding, and yeah, in-house we've got plunge pools. We've got two rooms with plunge pools inside. We do not have a swimming pool, and I don't think we'll have a swimming pool ever because it's too much water. And I think, and the problem is that you'd love to use that water, but we already are marshy. We already have so much water that, we really wouldn't be able to, do justice to the water that goes in the swimming pool. So we have two plunge pools in 2 of the rooms, of course, in the blocks. And we've got, of course, these minor activities, like we've got badminton, but we don't call them as activities because you can do all that. But there's no active sports per se, I would say. But yes, a decent wildlife library, pool table, and walk around. Yeah, that would be.
Oh, so Philippa, what reel have you seen? She's saying some tiger and bear.
Yeah. So when again from a perspective
Yeah, Philippa. Hi.
Yes. Hi, Philippa.
Hi, Jayant. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very good.
Good. No, I was just commenting on the reel that with the tiger and the bear was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it went viral for us. I mean, we got, I think, 3 million plus views on that. Yeah, I mean, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And when was that?
This was 3 years. This was 3 days back. This is like 3-4 days back. This is
amazing.
Yeah, and but the coincidence is that when Akash and I visited the jungle first time, we also had the same kind of a sighting where a bear went in and a tiger came out, right? Like they were clandestine meeting, right? But yeah, I mean, but yeah.
There's a really, really brave jungle fowl that jumps in at the end.
Yes. So from Dehradun airport, it would be that's a good question. I mean, we got asked this question 2 days back as well. I mean, Neem Karoli Baba, there are 2, of course. I think you're referring to the one in Nainital. I mean, that would technically be around 4 hours. I mean, 5 hours, because the drive down there could be some traffic. So from Nainital down to the plains would be around 2.5 hours, and then from there another 2 hours. So I would say 4.5 hours. From Rishikesh, I will have to do the math. I think it would again be a 7-8 hours drive. It will not be that close. Yeah. Dehradun airport would be then almost the same. Yeah, 7 to 8 hours. Do you provide railway or airport transfer? We do provide transfers if needed. Yes, we do. We have our selected list of travel partners who we connect the guests and partners with. Jim Corbett to this place. If we have to compare Jim Corbett to this place, I mean, I love Jim Corbett. I mean, I think what Jim Corbett was maybe 15-20 years back. But yeah, I mean, they're the same forest. I think Dudhwa is it's straighter roads. I think they're hard to compare them, honestly. I mean, but I would say it's just too touristy now. I mean, there are some resorts who are away and who still follow sustainability. But I think overall the jungle, at times it might be hard to find or have sightings because it's so big. and not everybody gets to go to Tikala and permits there. But again, like I said, if you see a tiger, then you see 100 jeeps and gypsies also along the way. I think that's where it's slightly different from a perspective of, when you're in the jungle, you don't feel like you're, crowded in a crowded space, right? So in that sense, it's different. But both forests have their own beauties. Yeah. And of course, again, I think to be fair, I mean, I think Corbett still has better locations when you get to see the tiger, right? I mean, the whole river along the way. There are some places which you can't really have here, but again, Dudhwa has its own different charm. Could you maybe about the cost of the lodge and the safaris?
We'll share the costs. Kushnur will
Yeah.
always share them post session. You know that, so
Yes.
we'll share all the details and
It's
facts.
still the most affordable. I think just to say from a perspective, I think it's still a lot cheaper than other places, right?
Yeah, but Jayant, adding to your description of the jungle, I mean, having seen Corbett and Dudhwa, Dudhwa, Kishanpur, the trees are amazing. I mean, for me personally, I thought the trees were just quite stunning in this part of the region. They're
Right.
tall, they're beautiful, and green at this time of the year.
At this time also, yeah. Even during summers, I mean, it's fairly green. How far in advance we need to book the safari? Like I said, Amrik, I mean, the safaris, we can still book. Now, the challenge is during peak seasons, of course. Now we have 2 in-house jeeps, so that takes care of most of our guests, right? But at times there are different guest groups. If you need more than four jeeps, at times last minute you might not get a jeep, right? So that's why at least for the peak seasons, a month in advance helps us ensure that if we need extra jeeps, then we have the best ones in place. Otherwise, even last minute we do get them, but we might not have the best partner to get in the jeep. But with at least 8 guests we can manage, right? And we don't share, right? So each guest has their own gypsy. So yeah, I think a month before for at least peak seasons always helps. Are the safaris timed by zones as in Corbett? Like I said, yeah, there are no zones, right? I mean, Dudhwa is a separate forest. You've got multiple options, but there is no zoning that you can go only one place, right? So yeah, you can go to any part of the forest which is open. So there's no division of traffic. Any details about exclusive naturalists for safaris? We do. I mean, of course, Jay goes along, and we fortunate Meenal, his wife, is also who goes along with our guests at times, right? I mean, so we've got 2 in-house naturalists per se, and we've also partnered with 2 who come down for us, right? I mean, of course, like I said, it's a new forest. There are guests gradually discovering the forest, so we do not have a lot of English-speaking guides, and we do not have a lot of naturalists, right? I mean, just a couple of properties have naturalists. So yeah, I mean, but we do have. I mean, we have exclusive naturalists available for safaris. How many guests can be affordably accommodate? 3 guests. We always say 3. Of course, Akash won't like it, but have we housed 4 at times? Yes, at times we have, because if a guest has been relentless in asking for us, but we say 3. Because finally, I mean, heated water is always a challenge, no matter whatever the capacity be, right? So I think in that sense, we say it's 3. 3 is a good number. 3 adults. Yeah. Picnic in forest should be avoided. Totally, totally avoided. I mean, we only give open the breakfast and evening snacks in the designated forest areas where we have the rest houses, right? And that's where we eat. Earlier, the machans were open in Kishanpur, but unfortunately, the tigers have overtaken the area. So now all the bird hides and the machans are closed, so we can't use them anymore. So yeah, I just plan a 3 classify different zones. Yeah, I think there are more. The lodge generally provides only breakfast. No, we provide everything. It's an API, so we provide all 3 meals because there aren't really any other options nearby to eat. We'll share the fact sheets. Yes. Do we have to pre-book safari? Already answered. It helps to pre-book, but we can, if there are example. I think Sanjay is here. Sanjay is guest. I mean, I think I don't know, but yeah, I think we can do last minute.
Sid, my guest had a great time. I am just posting a review just now. I was doing that. See here, Jayant.
Yeah.
I had just posted a review.
Oh, thank you. I mean, thank you so much.
She was from New York.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Sanjay's guest had the best luck ever. I mean, I still
Yes,
I envy
he
her.
had
Envy her, but
excellent time.
yeah. Yeah. Uh, breakfast and then taxis. Do we have pre-booked the safaris? We answered that. How does safari booking work? Personal booking. We have to buy the permit at the gate, which our team gets if we have the ID cards, and then of course Jeep also we book. We have in-house Jeeps. If we need extra Jeeps, we tie up with a partner and we take care of that. So, yeah, we just need to tell us who all, how many cameras, and we get the permit. Amazing.
How long it takes from to drive from the property to the park in Kishanpur?
10 minutes if it hasn't rained, because we drive through.
Answer, that's why I just took this. Yeah.
And 40 minutes to Dudhwa and 2 hours to Katarnia and Pilibhit. I think from a point of view of proximity, yeah, that's the most optimal. I think it's possible right now there. And also now we have 2 gates in Kishanpur. So again, both gates are like 10 minutes away from us. And the buffer is also open. And I think the forest department, we're trying that the buffer stays open throughout the year. But again, the rains really make it impossible to drive in. But we'll figure how that happens. But yeah, the buffer again is 15 minutes away from the property. Okay, bookings, yeah. Yeah. Any other question that I missed? How long does it take to drive from the property in Kishanpur? Yeah, 40 minutes. Are the rates different from? Yes. The rates are different, not from our perspective, but from the government permit perspective. So yeah, the safari rates are different. I mean, the safari rates are higher for the foreign guests. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyone else with any other question? Anybody from Rare team? Though we had the training with you. I just have one question. So you of course try to keep it very, I mean, like a slow travel kind. Their own, sometimes guests may just say we carry our speakers or something. Do you say no to that, right? There are some guests sometimes like that.
We don't allow that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The cost vary. We'll share the fact sheet. So
Fact sheet cost, all of that will be shared.
I think.
Yeah, say.
No, I think also important, since you're talking about speakers, right? I mean, we also do not have in-house liquor. I mean, we do not. So the guests do get. We do not serve liquor on our own. We don't have alcohol.
It's their own liquor.
If they want, the guests do get their own, and we can help them, and serve it. But yeah, we do not serve liquor in the property. Where it's allowed.
Okay. Your property is spread out in what? How much area?
5 acres. 5 acres.
Okay. So Dudhwa also, the forest now has a lot of properties, right? There are other hotels. So in your vicinity, you have more hotels, or is it a little kept apart?
There are properties in Kishanpur also coming up now. Around us, I think there's nothing close by. I think 3 kilometers, one which is very close, run again by a trust, but they are a little on the lower bracket end where the service is not there, but it's good for people who can't don't want to spend too much on this stay. So there are properties there. Yeah, but there are more properties in Dudhwa. Yes.
Yeah.
The whole idea of launching this was to, again, there's no harm. I believe that when there's good quality, I mean, you talk about it. I think we came in there because we saw Jagir Lodge, but we realized it was too expensive. It was too expensive. I mean, didn't say value. We wanted to create this same kind of service and experience but at a more affordable price, right? We wanted to ensure that that's available. So Jagir was a baseline for us from a perspective of luxury and service, but at a
No way.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
So how long a safari typically lasts?
It's a 4-hour safari in the morning and 3 hours in the evening.
4 hours and 3 hours. You don't have day-long safaris like you usually Ranthambore and places.
We're trying to push for that, but yes, if you have a use case of a documentary, or if we can get, so the forest department does issue permits to do that.
Okay.
One can do, but you need to get a permit from the forest department. But it's not like Ranthambore. You can just pay for it. Yeah.
I think we've taken all the questions. Which are the tentative dates of complete closure? Do you close it down completely at?
Yeah, from July to October.
July to October.
Yeah. Because there are no safaris. I mean, of course, there are guests who reach out to us since our staff is there. In September, October, we have had guests come and stay there, but they know that there are no safaris, so they stay in the camp. Yeah.
Anything else you want to say? I think that's about it. We don't have any more questions. You have anything to say, Jayant?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot to see, but in Dudhwa, I myself not seen all of it, but I think it's tricky of when I see tourism pick up, right? I mean, it's a chicken and egg, right? I mean, do you want more guests? You don't want too many guests, right? I mean, I think in that sense, we like less. We like less is better, right? I mean, I think we try, but yeah, I think people who love the wildlife should come and see it. But again, like I said, like Hinum Sunum, a book I always refer to of slowing down. I think Dudhwa is a good example because it is at that stage, and I'm just scared of what happens to our forest 5 years, 10 years down the line, right? But yeah, I think there are some forests which are in that stage of being slow. Yeah, so I think Dudhwa is there at that stage, and it kind of worries me also in some extent. But yeah, I think that's the only thing I can say right now. How does it evolve in 5 years down the line is very tricky. Yeah, but we need more properties like who maintain sustainability, and yeah, just having one is not enough. So.
In Dudhwa, so there's one only.
No, I'm sure others also do some bit of it, right? But yeah, but not really collectively. So I think that's also evolving. The association is gradually evolving and maturing. I think that we'll see how it evolves. But yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I would like to thank everybody for attending this, and thank you, Jayant, for a very, very fruitful session. And of course, I think we would all reach out to you, and of course, the people we have here, everybody.
Yeah.
So all the best, and thank you everyone for attending this. We look forward to having you again for our next Pinwheel session, and we'll inform you in advance.
Yeah, very heavy rains. Kushnu, there are a lot of heavy rains, and yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jayant.